Today, I'm going to start the hardest challenge I've ever done on this channel. I'm going to try turn $10,000 into $1 million only trading crypto. And more specifically, only using the crypto trading bots I've showcased over the past few weeks and a few additional strategies because again, this is extremely hard. Turning $10,000 to a 100x to turn into $1 million is not going to be easy. I cannot guarantee any results, but I'm going to try to the best of my ability. And one of my friends was able to do it with the exact methods I'm going to show you guys today. He was able to turn $4,000 into over $1 million. It did take a while. I think it took maybe 2 or maybe 2.5, maybe 3 years. But realize this, again, we're taking our money times 100. Do not expect it to be fast. Do not expect it to be easy, but I have to try. And I honestly think I'll be able to do it. I'm quite certain I will, but again, no guarantees. This is my journey that I'll be sharing with you guys publicly for anybody who wants to follow. And I'll be updating on this nearly every single day or whenever I add something, whenever we see something crazy in the bot list. But I'll also decide, most likely put it in my sheet for everybody to see and click on just to see the results, etc., etc. So let me explain a bit of how this is going to go. I'm going to take $10,000, put it in an XRP trading bot, like some of the ones I've showcased quite recently, and I'm going to keep reinvesting the profits every 5% profit that we make. This way, it'll take a long time, but we've got an eventual path towards turning our $10,000 into $1 million and actually 30,000 as well. It will take about 95 times that we have to reinvest, which, like I said, is going to take some time and is not going to be easy. But the reason I decided to do XRP is because, well, potentially it's going to go for a really crazy run here over the next few months. Even if the price goes sideways, by the way, or slightly down and then right back to the same price, we'll get it done. But the more, or I guess the less that it moves up, the longer it's going to take. And since I don't want it to take 5 years, well, we want something that's going to go up a lot in price. So Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, those are some of the ones I could have done this challenge with. But since a lot of you guys love XRP, I decided that's the one we're going to try. Now, I'll be showing you guys how I'm going to open this bot, how to claim yourself some bonuses to get some nice discounts on this challenge even. That's pretty cool. And I'll show you guys how you can copy along if this is something you also want to attempt. Again, this is your own journey though. I'll be explaining the steps that I'm going to take, the steps that I take if things go bad, how to reinvest, all those different things I'll explain in this video. But once more, I want to remind you that this is not an easy thing. Then again, I think it's going to be really fun and I'll update on it as often as I possibly can just to keep you guys up to date and to show you how good we are, huh? Or I guess maybe not, but at least it's worth a try. All right, so step number one, because I don't want to talk negative Nancy stuff actually, we got to get ourselves an account on Paynex. Link is down below. First of all, like I said, anyway, press that link in the description down below. It'll lead you to this sign up page. Make sure you do that. And also, once you've signed up, which I've already done, you can also press the second link to claim yourself a nice sign up bonus and deposit bonus. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that just for making an account, you can get yourself $100. And if you deposit upwards of $5,000, you get $800 for absolutely free. But the link for that is down below. And some countries might be blocked, like for example, the US and a couple of others. But it will ask you, hey, which country you're from? Use a different country that's not blocked, It's kind of as simple as that. I did not verify my ID. I did not send them an ID. So they don't know where you're from. Right? You can just pick whatever. You can pick whatever name you want. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but that's what you can do, which is basically also what I've done. So yeah. Then we have to figure out a buying strategy. How are we actually going to turn this $10,000 into $1 million? Well, it's actually quite simple. All we have to do is set a range for where we want our bot to buy XRP and where we want to basically sell it at. I've already inserted my price range. I want to basically buy from $1.60 to $5.12 and try to sell, obviously, the higher that it goes. I'm going to put 496 grids. This is, if I show it to you right here, is basically where it's going to transact. You'll see later where it's going to buy, where it's going to sell. I'm going to put $10,000 in, and I'm going to use 5 times leverage. Now, the higher leverage I go, the easier it'll be to get to $1 million, but also the harder it'll be to save our account or our challenge, basically, if things go sour. And then this extra margin amount, here's where things get interesting. I will probably, in case the market decides to do a massive dump, need to add more money to this bot. That is why the key here is going to be it's $10,000 invested in the bot. The $10,000 will trade every single day, and we're going to increase and increase and increase and increase this number. So that is all we'll ever invest, not a single cent more. If things go south though, in order to not get liquidated, I might have to lower the leverage by adding more margin. This is temporary. You can take this money back out as the price goes up. It is basically, if we take a look at Bitcoin's history, and let's say we were to start the bot at this price right there, right? You know, for example, at $60,000 you start the bot. The price just only keeps going down and down and down. I know that eventually it'll go back up and this bot will make me a ton of money in the process as it'll buy as the price goes down. To not get liquidated though, I might have to actually add some margin. This is not investment, it's different. It will not actively use that money to buy. All it will do is lower the leverage so that my bot will not get liquidated or wrecked. And as the price goes up and it starts selling and selling and selling, I can just take this money out again. It does not change anything with regards to our investment. And I have seen one of my friends also do this challenge without adding any margin ever. But at that point, it's more luck, meaning you just have to time exactly when you start quite well and hope the price never sees any bigger correction. I could, but at that point, it's quite risky in that sense, as in I might just throw $10,000 away. I actively want to manage this and want to see it go to $1 million. And if I'm just thinking, what is the highest probability of this working out? It's what I'm doing here. So anyway, all we have to do right now is just press create, and you can see that right now it'll basically already buy about 77% worth of the position. I press OK right now. There we go, and we've got ourselves this new XRP bot, our futures grid bot, that has right now already bought itself a juicy amount, about $50,000 worth of XRP. Actually, only 80% of that, so $40,000 worth of XRP it just bought. And if the price goes down, it'll start buying. Let me actually show you guys what it looks like. Here's our little overview. I will make groups later for it to show a bit easier, but if the price starts going down, you'll see here in placed, it'll start buying and buying and buying as the price goes down. If it starts going up, it'll start selling and selling and selling. What we want to see is the price going down very hard and then right back up, and then down very hard and right back up. Or preferably like this, where every single time it goes down very hard but also recovers with hopefully a slightly more bullish bias. Why? Just because most of the time it can then just sell a lot more at higher prices, so you make more money. So now that I've opened the bot, what do I need to do? Well, in theory, there's nothing I need to do anymore at this point. As of this point, all I got to do is just wait for the grid profits to lock in, cash in, and every single time it gets to about 5% profit in either unrealized or grid, wherever, I have a few ways to do it actually. I can press release profit, or I can add investment. But I could also, this is for example for the Farcoin bot because the other one is at a loss, I could just press release profit, it'll get it to my account, and I can just afterwards press add investment. There might also be an easier button to reinvest. For example, if we go to the XRP bot, but this is at a loss. So I'm just gonna do it for the XLM bot here. Let's do a bot that's more in profit, the 𝗵𝗵𝗏 bot here. If we press edit price range, and I just set the price range, 1 cent higher or something like that, and we press next step, here we go. It'll ask you, do you want to reinvest whatever profit that you've made? I think this is the easiest way to keep doing it. Every single time we get to about 5% profit, we just press adopt, and that's it. Then at that point, our money will be reinvested back to the bot. I could also stop it by pressing this button and reopen it, but that's a lot more work. The easiest method is either release profit and put it back in by adding investment, or just adding the price range by adding like a 0 or something like that, or like a 1 behind it, if you get my drift. Let's quickly add a 1. There we go. And I could take that back away if I wanted to, but I mean, a 1 cent change or a 0.1 cent change is not going to change anything. Maybe there's also an easy way to do it, but this is the way that I usually go about it. So again, right now, it's basically just a matter of waiting until it's going to start buying as the price goes down lower, and selling as the price goes higher. And we want the volatility. We're fine with this being at a massive loss most of the time, because again, it's going to take a while and we want it to buy hard as the price goes down. Now, I will also be making a separate tab here for our 10K challenge. Of course, this is still going to look ugly at the start, but I'll be making it beautiful as time progresses. And maybe I'm just going to update it every single time I reinvest with the date. For example, right now, the 11th of May, I put $10,000 in. And maybe, for example, this is the 13th of May. I don't know. It could be way later. It's just an example. Then maybe at that point, it is 10,500. So I reinvest at that point, and then from that point forward. Again, like I stated earlier, we need to do this about 95 times. I could put all the numbers in there already if I wanted to, but you never know if I'm going to catch it exactly 5% or 4.8, 4.9, whatever. So I think it's better just to wait. And again, like I said, if you want to copy along, if you think this whole risky endeavor is worth a try, you can first of all see how my other bots have been doing. You know, they're doing pretty well without reinvestment. This is what they look like right now. The Bitcoin bot, we put $50,000 in. It's a $250,000 trade. It's up $13,000 in a few days, in 4 or 5 days. XRP, we put $50,000 in. It's up $17,000, $18,000 in just a few days. This is what it could be, all right? It's obviously a little bit smaller, but this is what it could turn into. And here, if we take a look at the Solana bot, I put only $3,000 in with 3 times leverage, so $9,000 as an investment or of a trade. You know, this total profit here is $900. We could have already reinvested this multiple times, have our investment be significantly higher, but I'm not touching any of those. I'm not touching anything. I just wanted to keep stacking grits. Whereas with this bot, I'm going to actively keep reinvesting every single time this unrealized profit goes high enough. And if you want to follow along with my challenge and you've used the link first to sign up, then the second link to claim your bonus, there'll be a link as well in the description to copy my $10,000 strategy or challenge. And again, this is your own journey. You could do this with $1,000. You could do this with probably like $600 or $5 million. But obviously, keep in mind, if the price starts going against us, I will probably have to add more margin just to save ourselves from getting liquidated. And the reason I'm doing that is because otherwise it'd be too high risk of a strategy. So again, the idea here is only $10,000 invested into the bot, but we keep a good amount of money as well for adding margin. And if you're wondering, what does the margin adding really do? If we take a look at this bot right here, we have a liquidation price of $1.80. That means if the price goes to $1.80, I'd be screwed. There's a button though to adjust margin, as we see right here. I could just add, for example, $100, just a same example, and I can lower my liquidation price by 1 cent. The more I add, the more I lower this liquidation price. And again, at some point, I can withdraw margin again. If I were to add, for example, $1,000 as margin, I lower my price to $1.76, right? If I add, for example, a lot of money, $10,000, I lower my liquidation price to $1.30. There's probably, you know, XRP probably will never, oh, you can't perfectly see. Will probably never hit $1.30 again. But if it does, you know, I just add more margin. If I put everything that I've got in my account right now into margin, I can rest pretty easily because if it hits 91 cents or 92 cents, I'd still be fine. This is, again, not an investment. All it does is lower the active leverage. But again, after a while, I can just take it right back out without actually investing more money. And so some might argue it's not a $10,000 challenge. I like to argue against it because we're investing $10,000. We just have a safety net to keep ourselves from getting wrecked, but we only put $10,000 as an investment in the bot. But even if you want to call it a bigger challenge, you know, whatever. But if we invested, for example, you know, let me say it like this. If the price just goes steadily up, steadily, you know, doesn't move anything crazy, we'll never need it. And it was just $10,000 to $1 million. If the price is going down really, really quickly, we could just try again and try again and try again. But at that point, might as well just put some money aside for margin, you know, to just prevent all that and have a very realistic chance of hitting it. But again, we're still trying to look for a 100x, which will take time, will not be easy. My friend, I think it took about maybe 2.5 years for or something like that. But again, that's pretty cool stuff if you think about it, to turn your money into a 100x version of it. So yeah, I'm still impressed regardless of how much time it took. Even if it takes 5 years, I don't think it will. I think we can do it faster because we're doing XRP and not Bitcoin. If XRP goes for a good pump, it can be really, really fast. But the hardest part is just hitting it at all, right? Timing, let's see. Hardest part is getting this actually done. And hopefully we will not see a minus 60 or 70% candle in a day. But if you want to join, of course, it's your own risk. I'll be updating on it though in the sheet and obviously in videos almost every day or whenever I reinvest or whatever. I've left all the links you need down below and I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. If you guys also want me to do this challenge for Bitcoin or for a different coin, do let me know. But for right now, I think XRP is pretty cool. It's one of the most volatile, one of the craziest cryptos out there. So hopefully it's going to go fast. And most importantly of all, hopefully we get to our $1 million someday. Make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed it. Make sure you put the notification bell on so you're always updated whenever I post another video. And I think that's about it. This journey is going to start. Not financial advice, by the way. It's just my journey, but I think some people will copy along anyway. But yeah, that's about it.